This is weird. I never thought I'd be doing this, but hi, this is my first texting story video, blah blah blah. Just wanted to warn that the beginning is a little messy. I was still learning. Enjoy.
Yamaguchi and the others' third year. To think, the same Yamaguchi Tadashi who had managed to be the sole first year on the bench when first joining this team, sat down just a couple months ago looking through club applications he had the power to reject. It was nice of Chikara to spend time helping him prepare for the role during his first few weeks of summer break. But now he'd graduated, the most advice Tadashi could get now was going to come from him, Koshi, or Sawamura over the phone when one had free time, a rare occurrence nowadays. Though so far it wasn't so bad. The new first years were fairly skilled and showed promise, one reminding Yamaguchi of a younger Hinata. Despite being taller than the ginger, he was on the shorter side and made up for it through will and reflex. Speaking of which, turning his head, Yamaguchi's expression twisted with annoyance at two of the freshmen spending more time fawning over Kageyama than running drills. He began to approach, ready to put an end to it, but was beaten to the punch. Aren't there enough subjects on your court? You really have to go for the children? Ah, Tsukishima, Yamaguchi snickered, bringing himself to his friend's side. Nice one, Suki, but guys, you should be practicing. It'll be time to lock up soon. Having to be kinder now that he had the captain's role made his backing up of the blonde's antics lesson. But old habits die hard. With an apology each, the two returned to the court. That didn't mean the banter came to an end, however. It never did. Shouldn't the vice-captain be helping? Seems you're just making the captain's job harder, Your Highness. Unless this is the beginning of a rebellion. Kageyama grew angry cartoonishly quickly, glaring daggers at Tsukishima's smug grin. Yamaguchi just shook his head. You'd never guess these two had been playing side by side for 3 years. The bickering had died down compared to their first year, everything having dwindled down to snarky on-off remarks and quiet seething. Shaking his head, the captain clapped his hands and prepared to signal for the end of practice. And then the ball was like pwah against my hand and their eyes went all wah, so cool, and Kageyama pretended to be all. Hinata used his hands to hold his hair down, mocking Kageyama's gruff tone as he recounted when they first showed the newcomers their quick attack up close. The third years were walking the first portion of the way home together. Yamaguchi had the oldest spike trailing alongside him as he walked, allowing the extra movement required to tell the story as animatedly as Shoyu did. It's amazing how much the first years like him. He scatters from them like they're mice. His Majesty just doesn't know how to talk to such peasant commoners. At this point, Kageyama was the only one not joining the chorus of stifled laughter, electing to walk slightly ahead of the rest to avoid their jeering instead. Unfortunately for him, that triggered Hinata to pick up his pace until he was a bit in front of Kageyama. It went back and forth, and before anyone could think to speak, the two were racing towards the crossroads. Sighing, Yamaguchi briefly wondered when Hinata would realize he'd need his bike to get home. For now, the walk became peaceful. The taller third years walked in peaceful silence after being left behind, enjoying one another's company. Now was a good time as any to reflect, decided Yamaguchi's brain, the realization that he was there, in that moment, walking home as the new Karasuno team captain with his longtime best friend by his side and his two newer ones, who were likely waiting for them somewhere ahead, startled him. What's with your face? Ah, sorry, just thinking, don't hurt yourself. Excuse me, rude. Well, if you're going to make that face from a little thinking, then I'm just going to have to assume hanging out with the freak set duo has actually lowered your brain cell count. You hang out with them just as much, dipshit. Because of you. Fine, then you can sit out our lunch plans for the weekend. It'll just be us three. Now who's being rude? You said you didn't want to come? No, I didn't. I said I came because of you, not that I didn't want to come. Ever heard of implications, Suki? Shut up. Gomen. Now, why do you look constipated? You are gross. For a moment, conversation ceased as the blonde waited for his friend to answer. I just really hope I can give the first years the best I've got. It's my first year as captain and their friend year on the team. I want to make Daiichi and Enishita-san proud. Daiichi still comes to see our games whenever he can, even though he's busy, and Ishida will probably do the same. I don't want them to be disappointed every time they come see us play. So I was right. What? You've gotten dumber, Christ Suki. In the very unlikely event you lead us to lose literally every game, they'd be happy as long as you lead a team that played together. And didn't you spend weeks training with Enishita-san? He'd just come back to help more if he needed to, as long as he had the time. Quit being an idiot. Whenever someone questioned how Kei and Tadashi stayed friends for as long as they have, he thought back to moments like this. His friend was honest, so the blunt shooting down of his overly anxious thoughts never failed to lighten the mental load. Plus, you work well with the weirdos. You can probably wring new tricks out of them. Blatant disgust was written all over Tsukishima's face at his own words. Nose scrunched up as his friend covered his mouth to laugh. Not the snicker he did when they were teasing people. It was a weird sneeze-like sound. Tsukishima thought it was stupid. He loved hearing it. Well, Yamaguchi, my bike. The two looked ahead to see the ones who had abandoned them, both heaving against the wall on the sidewalk. Hinata, however, was still waving his arms wildly. Idiots. The bike was exchanged, as were goodbyes before the group dispersed. Tadashi really considered it. Being as good a captain as Daiichi, bringing out the best in Kageyama and Hinata, the thought was laughable. Hell, Daiichi was the one who created them as a duo in the first place. Normally, it didn't matter what Tsukishima said. Yamaguchi would stand behind his opinion like an iron wall. But this, the soft buzzing from his pocket brought Yamaguchi from his thoughts. He reached into his pocket, pulling out his phone and pressing it to his ear as he walked. Hinata, Captain. Either Tsukishima managed to fill the other in during the 5 seconds Yamaguchi hadn't been paying attention, or this was just really good coincidental timing. The little puffs between his words were an indicator that he's riding his bike already. It was as endearing as it was stupid. He chose to go through the extra hassle of making a call right now. What's the plan for the practice match against Nikoma coming up? Stupid Bakajiyama thinks just because he's vice captain he can just learn the training plan first and get ahead. Ah, there it was. Yamaguchi snorted out a laugh. The match wasn't for another few weeks. Why would he? Hold on, Hinata, Tabio's calling. I'll just add him. Yamaguchi could have sworn he heard half a second of protest from Hinata, but answered too quickly for anything to be done about that. Captain, have you decided on our play strategy yet, Hinata? Guys, my name's fine. It's still a little odd when you guys call me that on the court. Off it is just weird. Right, okay, what's the game plan? Whatever it is, you better prepare because I'm working my ass off. I won't lose to you. I won't lose to you either. Guys, you're on the same nevermind. The game plan is to rest until I tell everyone what we're doing against Nikoma on Friday, at the same time. Aw, Yama. Kageyama didn't whine, but Tadashi could hear him mutter something incomprehensible. You two are going to be the death of me. Incoming call from Tsukishima. This one was less unusual, and Yamaguchi added him to the call without a moment's hesitation. An agitated sigh came from Key's line at the other to being there, which the captain had to stifle more laughter at. Since they're all already on the phone, the conversation simply turned casual. There's baby ducks in the pond I'm riding by. Cute. Ugh. Not a new thing for the group as of late. I heard it's really good. We should go try it sometime. Yes, we should switch our weekend plans to go there instead. Weren't you literally the one that suggested the original cafe in the first place? Yeah, but that was before Kageyama told me about all-you-can-eat hibachi. They laughed and bickered even long after Hinata had finished his half-hour bike ride home. Disgusting. You're disgusting. Hello, I can stand it with other things, cookies or cereal maybe, but milk just on its own is too plain. Strawberry milk isn't bad. I like chocolate. Actually, yeah, I can do strawberry. As captain, it was normal for Yamaguchi to care about his teammates, but the extremities he could see himself going to for these morons and Tsukishima was a little ridiculous. Oreo and cookies and cream are two different flavors. No, they literally aren't. I'm with Kags on this one. Sorry, Suki. Me too. You're on your own, Tsukishima. You all give me headaches. Bound to happen after 3 years, he supposed. I'm going to bed. Aw, you're so lame. No, he's got a point. It's late, Hinata. But I like talking to you guys. Idiot. We'll end up doing this again tomorrow. You all will. I'm tired of this. That's what you always say, Suki. Alright, night guys. Good night. Night. One by one, the calls dropped. The silence following always paled in comparison. Yamaguchi laid his phone on the nightstand to his left, already in his pajamas, and staring up at the green, glow-in-the-dark stars scattered across his ceiling. Though, not a minute later his phone called for attention again. He carelessly grabbed it, opening the messages to see Tsukishima had sent him a single night, and Hinata shared a screenshot of Kei doing the same for him in their private messages. He didn't need an image to know Kageyama received one as well. Despite his reality being a little intimidating, Tadashi fell asleep smiling.